Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, narrated by Donald Donnelly. This work was first published in 1898. This recording is copyrighted 1981 by Recorded Books. In December of 1902, James Joyce, 20 years old, left Dublin for Paris. He returned to Ireland the following year because his mother was dying. He remained about a year and a half, and then met Nora Barnacle on June 10, 1904. 4 months later, they ran away together to the continent. With the exceptions of 3 brief visits, he never set foot in Ireland again. He died in Zurich in 1941, a few days before his 59th birthday. And now, a portrait of the artist as a young man.
Chapter 1. Once upon a time, and a very good time it was, there was a moo cow coming down along the road, and this moo cow that was coming down along the road met a nice and little boy named Baby Tuckoo. His father told him that story. His father looked at him through a glass. He had a hairy face. He was Baby Tuckoo. The moo cow came down the road where Betty Byrne lived. She sold lemon platt. Oh, the wild rose blossoms on the little green place. He sang that song. That was his song. Oh, the green rose, both of the... When you wet the bed, first it's warm, then it gets cold. His mother put on the oil sheet. That had the queer smell. His mother had a nicer smell than his father. She played on the piano the sailor's hornpipe for him to dance. He danced. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-dee, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Uncle Charles and Dante clapped. They were older than his father and mother, but Uncle Charles was older than Dante. Dante had 2 brushes in her press. The brush with the maroon velvet back was for Michael Davitt, and the brush with the green velvet back was for Parnell. Dante gave him a cachou every time he brought her a piece of tissue paper. The Vances lived in number 7. They had a different father and mother. They were Eileen's father and mother. When they were grown up, he was going to marry Eileen. He hid under the table. His mother said, "Oh, Stephen will apologize." Dante said, "Oh, if not, the eagles will come and pull out his eyes. Pull out his eyes, apologize, apologize, pull out his eyes, apologize, pull out his eyes, pull out his eyes, apologize." The wide playgrounds were swarming with boys. All were shouting, and the prefects urged them on with strong cries. The evening air was pale and chilly, and after every charge and thud of the footballers, the greasy leather orb flew like a heavy bird through the grey light. He kept on the fringe of his line, out of sight of his prefect, out of the reach of the rude feet, feigning to run now and then. He felt his body small and weak amid the throng of players, and his eyes were weak and watery. Roddy Kickham was not like that. He would be captain of the 3rd line, all the fellows said. Roddy Kickham was a decent fellow, but Nasty Roach was a stink. Roddy Kickham had Greaves in his number, and a hamper in the refectory. Nasty Roach had big hands. He called the...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.